Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. If you are new here, my name is Phoebe Hagan. I am Phoebe Bikini Pro from the UK, and today I'm going to be recapping the Arnolds. And a lot of you actually asked me to do this because when I made my announcement, obviously not doing the Arnolds anymore, they were like, are you going to be recapping the Arnolds? And I was like, gotta give the people what they want. So, very excited for this because one, I haven't actually watched the bikini pre-judging yet, and two, the result was very, very interesting and I love this a lot, and I'm going to explain to you why. So obviously, as you already know, Laura Lee won the Arnold. She defended her title, absolutely amazing, like so proud of her for pushing on and pushing through, because I mean, I'm proud of all of those girls for pushing on and pushing through, because it was a tough for a lot of them. I spoke to a lot of them, and you know, from the Olympia to the Arnold, it wasn't a lot of time. There's not much you can improve on in terms of gaining muscle, so you just pretty much have to maintain, which is very hard to do. And I couldn't do it, so it was really, really difficult. So it was a tough prep for all of them, but I'm really proud of Laura Lee for keep pushing on, because the reason for that is because, you know, she got 5th place at the Olympia, you know, and I know a lot of people, you know, had her winning. She brought a very, very good package at the Olympia, but obviously it wasn't what the judges were wanting. She went away, worked, and now she came back even better than before, and actually beat previous people that beat her at the Olympia. So what does that tell you? It tells you that if you keep consistently working on what the judges are wanting to see from you, it can change your placing. And not just because someone's beaten you at the Olympia or someone's beaten you at a previous show, that means, oh, I can't do that show because they're going to beat me again. But it all depends what happens on the day, and I think a lot of people forget that. So if you're going towards a show and potentially there's someone that, you know, has beaten you before, and you avoid that show because you're like, well, they've beaten me before, so that means, you know, I might not beat them. You never know. They might not turn up completely 100% on the day, and you might have improved that much that you will overpass them. So I think it's very important to remember that, because I think a lot of people forget that, and I think that's something that needs to be voiced. So I think it's amazing that obviously, you know, all those girls are absolutely incredible up there. Like, everyone are on that Arnold stage. So I'm excited to kind of have a look at everyone and how they look, because I haven't seen it, and then go from there. Also, apologies, my throat is raspy as hell right now, so I do apologize if I already sore throat, because the Dubai heat is killing my throat, so apologies in advance. But let's get into the pre-judging. Okay, so you actually can't screen record the live stream, which is how I usually do these recaps. So I'm gonna have to record on my phone and then show you what I have from there, if that makes sense. So hopefully this works, and obviously my editor's gonna have to, you know, work his magic with this one, but let's see how it works. So hopefully this works well. Okay, so they've obviously got 9 ladies on stage, so in total, so they've got 5 now. Everyone's wearing blue, in some sort of blue. Ivana, number 2, she's got a new suit color, I guess. She's got like a ombre kind of suit going on, which I really like her in the red, to be fair, so this is interesting. But everyone's got some sort of purple or blue or something going on, so I feel like that's, again, another trending color, which is always funny. Everyone looks very, very good. Very full from the back, really good amount of conditioning as well. Even Sandy, the head judge, has just mentioned it, like, you've all gotten together and you're all pretty much wearing the same color. So I really like how Laura Lee and Maureen look from the back. I think Maureen definitely looks a lot fuller as well from the back. Laura Lee definitely looks fuller from the back, which is exactly what her feedback was, so that makes sense. I'm really excited to see how Ashley looks, because I've been seeing her pictures on Instagram and stuff, and this is the best I've seen her. Like, she looks so much denser, even more conditioned than what I've seen previously as well, which is crazy. So Jen looks very, very good as well. And then on the number 9, on the end, I can't pronounce her name and I don't want to pronounce it wrong, is the new, she won her pro card at the Arnold's last year, so she got an invite to this year's Arnold. So that's really, really cool, and she looks absolutely incredible as well. I love how Ashley, and again, all of them are in like some sort of purple, and Ashley is just rocking green. I love it, it's so good. Okay, so now we're going into individuals. So I think the individuals is always something that stands out to me, like makes the athletes who they are as a whole athlete, because they bring their own personality onto stage, and it's really, really nice to see how everyone's very, very different. It makes everyone very individual. Lovely. So I don't think the live stream is kind of like showing it as much, but I saw like a few photos and stuff on Instagram and like videos and stuff, and like I said, she was definitely a lot fuller this time round. In a way that, like, I don't think, like we said before, the criteria never changed, but I think when we're in prep, I think pushing for condition is something sometimes so much that we think about where we're like, we want to come in condition, and it sometimes can go too far, even as pros, because that's what I kind of thought for when I was doing the Olympia. I thought, you know, I need to be as conditioned as I can, I need to really make sure I nail my conditioning, and we sometimes forget about that fullness, and we want to try and maintain that fullness. So I think she's really nailed it this time, where she's dieted for the right amount of time, she's really brought that like pop to her shape back, which is really cool to see. And I mean, her posing, come on, like she's so like effortless on stage, and really just like, you just can't stop watching her. She just, the way she smiles and the way she presents herself is so classy. So I love it. Oh, I'm so proud of her. She really killed this prep, really did. Her front pose is like killer from the front as well, really is. It's so nice to see like how well Yvonne is doing and stuff like that, and how she's kind of like evolved, because I remember when she got her pro card in 2018, and I was doing the pro show, not 2018, 2020. So she got her pro card in 2020. She's done so well since then. This is interesting, that front post she just kind of did. I think she's the only one that can pull that off. It can be kind of a win or lose kind of situation though, because sometimes it can show off a little bit too much. Like when she was doing that pose, you could see a lot of her striations in her quads, a little bit too much of her midsection like being really tight as well. So sometimes it can work in people's favors when they show off this, you know, pose from the front, but you've just got to be careful. She walks to the back of the stage now as well, because I remember I did a recap before, and she never usually walks like completely to the back of the stage before, so she's changed up her routine, which looks nice. I really like it. She's definitely a lot more stable as well, because sometimes on stage she would be a little bit more wobbly and a little bit more, probably nervous on stage, but I think she definitely has learned to kind of control her movements and stuff when she's on stage, and it looks so much better. Maureen, oh, she changed her suit color as well. She's not in a pink anymore. I don't know if I prefer her in pink or blue. I think blue makes her look a lot more like sexier, if that makes sense. This blue I really like, but I do love that pink. Like that pink is just, it was so shocking when she walked in it, and I was like, wow. So I definitely think she's fuller from the back. Like her upper glutes are like ridiculous, and I think the projection in her glutes looks better this time around. I think her and Laurie are very close in terms of like the glute size. She's just like, the way she again effortlessly poses on stage, it's just so like appealing to watch, you know. So I think it's really nice to see like how well she's done as well, you know, since the Olympia, and the improvements she's made. And again, you can make improvements in 8 weeks, you really can, like you just have to work for it. Okay, I was really excited to see Romina, because I think she looks a lot tighter and a lot better than her Olympia showing in December. I think she looks a lot tighter this time around, and I was intrigued to see her like next to people and stuff. So I definitely think she has more pop as well. So the way, I think Olympia, she might have been like conditioned, but she just didn't have that pop she had, that she usually has, like, because I think she won the Florida show. That's how she got qualified for last year's Olympia. And I think she just lost that pop a little bit between that time versus now. Her body looks a lot more like refreshed, if that makes sense. Back shot looks incredible, really nice. And again, she's another one who's learned to control her poses a little bit as well, where she's not moving too much, she's kind of just going in and out of the poses with a little bit more fluidity. Because it's hard to, especially with pros, because we have the extra time, it doesn't mean you should always use it and try and do every pose under the sun or try and do loads with it. So I think it's very good that a lot of pros are seeing that now and saying, okay, let's go for a simple routine versus showing everything off, you know? So Alessia, she's literally just won, I want to say the Japan show or Singapore or something like that. She just won a show recently to qualify for this year's Olympia, so massive congrats. I like Alessia's shape. She's very conditioned, and that's something that she's never short on, which is really cool to see. I do think she just needs a little bit more muscle in like the glutes and stuff. You can see it a little bit. There's a lot of detail in her back shot, which is incredible. It's incredible to see that type of, you know, lines and conditioning and stuff, but it's just something that obviously needs to be probably a little bit more careful on stuff. But I like how she's controlled, again, her posing a lot more. She's actually cut, you can see here, she's cut her routine down quite a lot compared to the other pros. So she just kind of her front pose, back pose, walks to the back and walks straight forward. So again, simplifying your routine makes it sometimes better. Ashley, Timmy. She looks great. She always looks great. Like, let's be honest, like in her off season, she looks incredible. In her in season, she looks incredible. I want to give her huge props. Like, her posing is massively improved. Like, I know obviously, you know, people have always said that that's something she needs to work on, and I've spoken to her before and I've even posed her before, and that's something she's always wanted to work on and be better at. And you can tell she's getting comfortable with that every single show she does, which is really good to see. Again, all pros, we all need to improve on something. There's always something to be better at. So I think it's really cool to see how she's taking that feedback and she's making progress with it. Good. Oh, it's so nice to see. And definitely, like I said before, I think this is like, she looks so bubbly, like full, like in her shoulders and stuff, even in her glutes. Her glutes are always popping, and so are her shoulders, but this is something I've never seen before where she looks very dense, really, really dense. It's really, really good to see. Ellen Fernandez, she got second call-outs in the Olympia this year, I think. Second call-outs? Yes, second call-outs in the Olympia. Again, she's been around for a very, very long time, so she knows what she's about. And one thing I always see is this pose, she always does the front on shot pose. So you can see she's another one that only does, she's very limited and not a lot of people do this type of pose, but again, she knows it suits her frame. She can get away with that type of pose because she has the body that fits it well. So again, making sure that you don't copy people because you just like the pose. You have to also know that it's gonna suit your body and stuff like that. And she knows that, so she hits that pose a lot of the times because it shows off a lot of her assets, you know. But again, she's another one that usually is very, very conditioned from the back, and you can see a lot of striations. She's softened up a lot in the legs now, which is good because that was, I think, something that they wanted her to do. She still has the details, she still has the fullness very nicely, but it's just a little less, which is so much better. There's so many Olympia champs in this. It's really, really cool. There's 3 Olympia champs. So Jennifer Dory. Again, Jen's just, I mean, she's the Olympia champ, come on, like she's the Arnold champ as well. So there's 3 Arnold champs, well, 4 Arnold champs, 3 Arnold champs in this, and 3 Miss Olympias as well. So of course this was going to be a very, very competitive Arnold in general, but I think Jen's definitely improved, and I think she's softer in a good way. So from the back, she's not, she has pop. I think a lot of people, like we said before, for the Olympia came in condition, really, really lovely condition, but I think the judges wanted everyone to still have that pop there. And I think a lot of people have now seen that, they're like, okay, let's calm it down on the conditioning a little bit more and bring back a bit more fullness to the body and make sure that we have the pop there. And I think that's what Jen's done, and you can see it really, really nicely. So I think her back shot looks a lot like, again, has more 3D-ness to it, you know? So Yukechi, when I say that, I think she won her pro card last year, like I said, at the Arnold, and if you obviously won your pro card at the Arnold, I think you get not an automatic invite, but you do get considered for the Arnold Classic as a pro, which is really, really cool, and I think that's a great opportunity. I was really interested to see what she looked like because I've never seen her before. So the first thing I see, beautiful shape, really gorgeous, very conditioned, but in all the right places. Really, really nice to see. Her glute shot from the back, incredible. You can really see those tie-ins like very, very vividly. So I think it's really nice, and I'm excited to kind of see how she does as a pro moving forwards and stuff, because this is her pro debut. Imagine your Arnold being the pro debut, like that would be incredible, like being able to stand on stage with the best of the best for your first time stepping on stage as an Arnold, as a pro. So I think she's got a beautiful routine, she flows really, really nicely, so I'm excited to see how she does as time goes on in the Pro League. Oh, it's giving me all the feels. I'm like, I'm not up there with them, but it's nice to watch. I really love being a fan of the sport. It really, really warms my heart a lot. Okay, so that was one thing a lot of people said was the call-outs were quick, which obviously because there's 9 of them, there's not many people, so there's not much to kind of do. If they know who they want to see next to each other, it's in and out very, very quickly. There's no need to kind of work the girls too much if they didn't need to. So I'm intrigued to see how this goes and how it went, because I didn't see it at all. Okay, let's have a look how this went, because I know it was there was a 4 call out, so it was first 4, and then they kind of went from there. Okay, so we knew obviously that was the top 4 anyway, so the top 4, Laura Lee, Maureen, Ashley, Jen. So straight away face back, like instantly, like they just want to have a look at the glutes straight away. They barely were in their front poses for that point. You can see Laura Lee has the biggest glutes on stage in a good way. So Ashley and Maureen straight away. Okay, so they didn't actually they didn't move Lauralee or anything at all. They just kind of moved Maureen next to Lauralee. I do like how Maureen's like glutes fall. Like you can see the separation very, very vividly in her back shot, but I like the fullness in like the outer part of Lauralee's better a little bit. And you can see that Lauralee's are a little bit shorter, which kind of makes them look bigger in a way, if that makes sense. You can see Lauralee's definitely been working on her waistline as well. Look, her waist looks the tightest I think I've ever seen. Yeah, that was quick. That was like, that was like, what? I don't even know how long that was. That was like 2 minutes. So it was very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Okay, so then now the next call outs. Okay, so we've got the rest of the people, which is Alessia, Maureen, Alessia, Romina, Ivana, Ellie, and again, these girls are like, it's like the smallest part difference. Like there's really not much to kind of compare. It's literally like, okay, she's a little bit too lean. She posed a little bit differently. She's this, do you know what I mean? The second call out sometimes is a little bit longer. They're really trying to find the difference in, you know, from fifth to below a little bit more, because they kind of know who they want. They know who they want for that top four. They know kind of, they've decided who they want in that part. But with this one, it's a little bit more movement and a little bit more like thinking, because it is a little bit more closer, you know? Sometimes when the clear winner is there, it's easy to kind of say, yep, that's it, it's over and done with, you know? So yeah, 2 walks to the back of the stage. Yeah, very quick for the second call out as well. So it's interesting, and they'll probably do a top 4 call out again, confirmation round most likely. Yeah, so they've done another kind of comparison round to kind of see who they actually like, okay, is this what we want? Is this 100% what we're going for? All that type of thing. Let's see this one. So when they did this, that's because this is what I saw. So I saw this and I thought, okay, maybe Lauralee's not one, or, you know, I'm not too sure. I think what happened was they were kind of looking at Ashley and Jen to see who they wanted for third and fourth. They kind of decided in the first call out, okay, it's second and first with Lauralee and Maureen. And I think when they were kind of comparing, they were like, let's have a look and see who is then third and fourth, which is interesting to see. But when you don't watch it in context, it's very like, okay, what's going on? Because I only saw this half and I thought, okay, you know, Jen looks like she has it, and then potentially Ashley's got second or first or something like that. So it's interesting to see how different the context will be the way that you watch it, if that makes sense. So yeah, and then they've moved them in now to kind of have a look, and yeah, so that it makes sense. It's really interesting to see though. Yeah, so they're doing the walk to the back of the stage now, which is good. Again, these girls' glutes, like, they do not drop. Like, I always say to ladies, please make sure when you practice your posing, you do not drop your glutes when you're walking to the back of the stage. It's like a big no-no, because it can be the difference between a first, a second, a last, and a first. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really, really important. So, okay, so that was prejudging. Like, that was quick. Like, it's crazy how quick, like, these things can go. But I think when, like I said, when they know who they want as the winner, they know who they want as the winner. So, they haven't got the finals of Bikini on the replay yet. So, but I do want to get this video wrapped up and kind of give you my thoughts on prejudging. Prejudging was super interesting, and I kind of said this already, but anytime any of the top pros or anyone in general steps on stage next to each other consecutively over and over, and this will most likely happen more with the top pros than it will amateurs. For example, when people are, you know, the top of their game and it's the same people showing up every single time, you know, they're always going to be compared, and people always make predictions and say, you know, this person has it, this person has it, without really actually obviously seeing how they look on stage, obviously first or all of it. It's just obviously guesstimations, right? So I love how sometimes it changes, because it does. It always changes. Like I said, it always depends on what happens on the day. It always depends on how you show up, how you present yourself, what happens on the day. It's always about that. You could have the most perfect prep throughout an entire however many weeks, and on the day, slightly off, or something goes wrong, or something's very different, and it can change things. And it all depends on how you look next to people as well. So I love the fact that, you know, as much as people are obviously kind of saying like different opinions about like other, like who would win and all that type of thing, I think it's really, really cool to see how all of those girls in the top four, or even just in general, all of the girls on that stage took the feedback they needed, they made the improvements, and you can see the improvements have been made, and the placings have been changed, if that makes sense. So I think it's really, really cool and interesting, and that's why I always love bodybuilding, because it's never just the same over and over again. I think it's really, really interesting, and I love how bikini has evolved in that way. I love how bikini is and always will be a full conditioned shape, but not too far. I love that, and I think that, you know, Maureen, Lauralee, the top four perfectly represented that. So I do think the standard is 100% set for 2023, and I like that. I really, really like that. So I think it was a very, very good, you know, move. All of those ladies, what they kind of did, what they did to change their shapes and all that type of thing. A lot of the posing was very, very different as well in terms of, you know, for the Olympia you had 45 seconds. So obviously, because there was so many people on stage for the Olympia, we had a limit of only 45 seconds. So this time the ladies actually got to like fully show off their presentations, their personalities throughout that, and you could see that like a lot throughout their routines. So I really enjoyed watching that, and that's always something fun to watch. And obviously I know the Olympia couldn't always, you know, it's not always going to be like that because there's not always going to be that many people at the Olympia, but it was hard hearing that news when obviously you get that only 45 seconds because you don't get to fully show off like your routine, your personality as much. But I also think it's a good thing. So when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to posing, you don't want to show off and be up there for too long to show the judges the flaws. I liked seeing a lot of the ladies' routines today in the Arnolds, that they were very, very limited, but in a good way. So you could see their front pose, you could see their back pose, you could see just a clean transition. And I prefer it versus a lot of things going on, if that makes sense. So that's the one trend I can see within the Arnolds, and I hope that kind of carries on throughout the rest of the year. So very, very excited, and it's definitely put kind of, you know, a fire up under like my butt, and I'm really, really excited to see how I can progress and be better and potentially step on the Arnold stage one day again. So very, very excited for it, and thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel because it really helps support my channel. If you are pro, amateur, any level of posing, whether you're a beginner or you're advanced, and you are wanting to find a way to learn and improve your posing, please head to theposingportal.com and sign up to the posing portal. I would love to teach you. If you want to be posed by me and get any corrections by me, I would love to have you on the site. Very, very exciting things coming with that as well. And like I said, always remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon.